Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
This is 7 at 7 from the Las Vegas Review-Journal.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Renee Summerhour. We start off with your top stories brought to you by Nevada Hand's Silver Sky Assisted Living Community. Learn more at nevadahand.org. More on the alleged assault involving New Orleans Saints running back Alvin Kamara. Kansas City Chiefs cornerback Chris Lammons turned himself in Thursday morning for a, quote, walkthrough booking at Clark County Detention Center. Lammons is charged with a felony count of battery resulting in substantial bodily harm in connection with an attack at Dre's nightclub the day before the NFL Pro Bowl. Kamara was arrested at Allegiant Stadium following the game. Now Lammons and two others who were also arrested are scheduled to appear in court on March 16th. And 18 months later, police arrest a man in connection to a homicide originally thought to be self-defense. Dennis Vasquez was arrested on a warrant after speeding in a school zone. He is charged in the fatal shooting of Daniel Vesper in October of 2020. At the time, police say the two men were in a fight at a condo on Key Largo Drive, and they considered it was possible self-defense. And Clark County is looking to spend about $1 million for high-speed counting machines for mail-in ballots. The commissioner's decision comes ahead of the primary and general elections, and the legislature recently passed a law that sends mail ballots to every active registered voter in the state automatically. The Registrar of Voters reported that more than 453,000 people voted by mail in 2020, compared to about 109,000 in person. And the Las Vegas Fire and Rescue's chief is retiring. The city says Jeff Buchanan will step down the first week in May when he qualifies for retirement benefits. Buchanan has led the fire department for less than 2 years. In an email, he says he will tell employees more in a town hall on February 28th. Now to today's weather report brought to you by Star Nursery, your garden's partner for every blooming thing. Happy Friday. The winds have died down and we're looking at sunny skies today. Highs reaching about 68 degrees. Light winds coming from the northwest. Mostly clear skies tonight with lows around 43 degrees. For the weekend, we creep back up into the low 70s, 74 degrees by Sunday. Light winds throughout, lows in the mid to upper 40s. But then by Tuesday, a significant cool down. Highs only topping about 59 degrees. Possible rain chances as well. In your business news, sponsored by Bank of Nevada, Bank on Accountability, it's official. The Nevada Gaming Commission approved the sale of the Venetian and Palazzo to Apollo Global Management. Review Journal's Jen Ah tells us what happens next. Jen?
Renee, now that the regulators have given their final approval, the $6.4 billion deal is expected to close in the next week or so. According to our business experts, the question on many people's minds is, are we going to see some changes at the Venetian soon?
Apollo Management Group has hired a former executive at the Venetian to be its CEO going forward. And there are a lot of indications that most of the same staff and some of the same philosophies will be in place, put some additional gaming into the property.
Apollo Global Management will also be the new landlord of the upcoming MSG Sphere set to open next year. Currently, the Review Journal is owned by the family of Dr. Miriam Adelson, majority shareholder of Las Vegas Sands, which operates the Venetian and Palazzo. Renee?
In your health news, a spiritual helping hand for healthcare workers. More than 50 frontline workers gathered outside Southern Hills Hospital and Medical Center for a non-dominational prayer service. The goal, to boost the morale of those still helping those suffering from COVID.
The impact you have on people's lives. You have a chance to show people the love of God at a time when they're desperately needing the love of God. You see people at their worst, and y'all know that.
Southern Hills CEO says the hospital has treated over 5,000 COVID patients since the start of the pandemic.
Sports, brought to you by Station Casinos, STN Sports. Download the app today. On Thursday, Clutch Sports Group announced the launch of its women's basketball division, and Las Vegas Aces stars Asia Wilson and Chelsea Gray became two of the first professional women's basketball players to be represented by the agency. And the Raiders signed free agent cornerback Cre'Von LeBlanc. LeBlanc was signed by the New England Patriots as an undrafted rookie in 2016 and was most recently with the Houston Texans on their practice squad in 2021. He had no regular season appearances last year. Sports betting, sponsored by Las Vegas Paiute Tribal Smoke and Cigar Shop. The Colorado Avalanche are the clear favorites to win the Stanley Cup at plus 350 at the Westgate SuperBook. The Golden Knights are next at 7-1, followed by the Florida Panthers and the Tampa Bay Lightning at 8-1. The Carolina Hurricanes and Toronto Maple Leafs are 10-1, and the Pittsburgh Penguins are 14-1. The Avalanche defeated the Knights 2-0 on Wednesday as minus 140 favorites.
In your entertainment news, sponsored by DiscoverYourNevada.com, brought to you by Travel Nevada, looks like Usher is coming to Las Vegas. We go to Review Journal's John Katzlamides for what to expect. John?
Remember New Year's Eve weekend when Bruno Mars announced that Usher was going to be a headliner at Dolby Live in 2022? I remember because I was in the crowd that night. Usher remembers too because he was on stage. It has finally come to pass. The announcement has been made. Usher will be headlining Dolby Live from July 15th through the end of October. This is the sequel to his residency at the Coliseum at Caesar's Palace, which ended on New Year's Eve weekend. 23 shows total as Dolby Live heats up this coming year.
In your lifestyle news, investment apps are shaking up the way people access the stock market, even if they don't have too much experience in investing. Review Journal's Kelsey Kendall tells us more about how people are using these apps.
Since the start of the pandemic, people have been investing their money in less traditional ways that avoid high trading fees, complicated jargon, and other barriers that kept people from investing more. A recent Penny Hoarder survey found that 66% of its respondents began using an investment app in 2020 or 2021, and there are a number of reasons for this latest trend.
A lot of folks had extra spending money around thanks to those 3 different stimulus checks that we all received. People also had more time on their hands, especially during the beginning of the pandemic. A lot of us were on our phones, we were on social media, and investment apps are right there where you use everything else.
And of course, cryptocurrency is growing more and more popular, with about half of survey respondents saying that they view it as a high-risk and high-reward investment. From the Review Journal, I'm Kelsey Kendall.
Thank you for watching 7 at 7 a.m. I'm Renee Summerhour. If you have an Amazon Fire TV, search Review Journal to download our channel. Watch Las Vegas breaking news streaming live on your OTT device. We'll see you back here later today for 7 at 7 p.m. from the Las Vegas Review Journal. Happy Friday.
Review Journal Studio, sponsored by Adam Kuttner. Get the maximum settlement as quickly as possible. This 7 at 7 update, sponsored by Pro Group Management. You're watching 7 at 7 from the Las Vegas Review Journal.